You are not who you think you are. The moment this truth hits, it will shake the walls of your reality. Imagine waking up one morning and realizing the world you've been living in, every decision you thought you made, every outcome you chased was never solid, never fixed, never truly external. Now picture this, you're standing in the middle of a vast field, and around you, infinite versions of your life are swirling like storms waiting to be chosen. In one, you're thriving. In another, you're lost. In another, you're enlightened beyond comprehension. What if I told you that choosing between them is not about effort but alignment? This is not just philosophy, it's physics, quantum physics, to be exact. The observer effect teaches us that particles, literal building blocks of our reality, do not decide their state until they are observed. And that changes everything. It means that reality is not something happening to you, but something being shaped by you moment by moment, thought by thought. But here's the part they don't tell you. You're already manifesting every second of your life, whether you know it or not. The question is not if you're manifesting. The question is what vibration you're manifesting from. We've complicated manifestation. We've turned it into rituals, vision boards, and affirmations repeated with gritted teeth. But the quantum truth is more elegant, more terrifying, and more liberating. You manifest not from what you want, but from what you are. That means your desires are not enough. Your energy must match them. Your frequency must already be the reality you wish to experience. You don't chase outcomes, you collapse timelines. You don't beg the universe, you become the version of you that the universe cannot ignore.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound insights.
Let's break it down in the realest way possible. Imagine two people. One is trying to manifest abundance, but deep inside, they feel unworthy. Another isn't even thinking about money, but they walk with such certainty, such joy, such inner richness, that abundance flows to them like a magnet. The difference is not effort, it's identity, it's vibration. It's the internal signature you're broadcasting to the quantum field every second. So pause and ask yourself this: what version of reality are you currently in resonance with? Now imagine a world where everything you want already exists. Not in theory, not in the future, right now. There is a version of you who has already healed, who is already successful, who is already at peace. The only reason you haven't met that version yet is because your current frequency doesn't match theirs. The quantum field is not emotional. It's precise. It's mathematical. It doesn't give you what you wish for. It gives you what you are. So stop asking and start becoming. But becoming is not about pretending. This is where most people get lost. You can't trick the quantum field. You can't fake alignment. If you say I am love, but you're drowning in resentment, the field responds to your true frequency, not your words. This is why some people seem to manifest effortlessly, while others struggle for years. The truth is, we're all manifesting every moment. The difference is whether you're doing it consciously or unconsciously. The difference is whether your vibration is a reaction to your past or a declaration of your future. So how do we change it? How do we shift timelines? It doesn't start with action. It starts with awareness. You must become radically honest about the frequency you live in, not what you say. Not what you post, what you feel. what you believe when no one's watching, what you expect without even realizing it. That's the code you're sending into the field. That's the signal the universe is responding to. So if you want to change your reality, you must first change the signal. And here's the paradox: the less you try to control, the more power you unlock. Because control is rooted in fear. Surrender, true surrender, is rooted in trust. And the quantum field responds to trust like fire to oxygen. It expands, it magnifies, it rearranges reality around you. But surrender is not passive, it's active faith. It's walking as if it's already done. It's embodying the energy of your future before it arrives. And when you do that, reality has no choice but to catch up. This is not magic, it's mechanics. Your thoughts create resonance. Your emotions amplify it. Your actions align it. And when all three are in harmony, manifestation becomes inevitable. You don't chase, you attract. You don't force, you allow. You don't hustle, you harmonize. And suddenly, life stops being a struggle and starts becoming a dance. A co-creation. A living, breathing reflection of your internal state. But don't get it twisted, this is not about bypassing pain. This is not about pretending everything is okay. True quantum manifestation requires radical self-honesty. You must face your shadows. You must confront your wounds, not to fix them, but to integrate them. Because your trauma holds energy. And when you suppress it, that energy becomes resistance in the field. But when you transmute it, that same energy becomes fuel. It becomes clarity. It becomes power. Ask yourself this: what if your pain is not a block to your manifestation, but the very portal to it? What if the thing you've been avoiding is the exact frequency you must meet, embrace, and transform? Because on the other side of that discomfort is your liberation. And liberation is the frequency of miracles. Not because everything becomes easy, but because you're no longer afraid of difficulty. You've become bigger than your circumstances. And that's when the field starts bending around you. You've been told to visualize what you want. That's a start, but it's not the whole truth. Visualization without embodiment is just fantasy. You must feel it. You must live it now as if it's already here. Because the field doesn't respond to your timeline. It responds to your vibration. And if you're waiting to feel abundant until the money comes, or loved until the relationship comes, or worthy until the success comes, you'll keep waiting. Because waiting is a frequency too. And the field mirrors it perfectly. So what's the next move? Begin with presence. Presence is power. Presence is where the quantum field meets your awareness. When you are fully here, fully now, without resistance, you become a conductor for miracles. You stop leaking energy into the past or projecting fear into the future. You become a point of stillness in the chaos. And from that stillness, you can choose, not react, choose. And choice is the first act of creation. Let me ask you something that might shake you. What parts of your identity are you still clinging to that are keeping you in the wrong timeline? Are you still telling the story of your struggle? Are you still defining yourself by your wounds? Are you still waiting for external validation to feel whole? Because identity is gravity. And until you shift who you believe you are, you will orbit the same outcomes over and over again, no matter how many times you visualize or affirm. You want to change your life? Change your frequency. You want to change your frequency? Change your self-concept. Start seeing yourself as the version of you who already has it. Not someday. Now. Walk like them. Speak like them. Think like them. Feel like them. And here's the key: you don't do it to get the result. You do it because that is the result. That alignment is the manifestation. Everything else that shows up is just the reflection of that inner alignment. This is the simple truth that changes everything. You are the cause. Reality is the effect. You are not chasing the dream. You are becoming the frequency of the dream. And when that happens, manifestation is no longer a mystery. It's a mirror. One that reflects back to you not what you want, but what you are. The moment you realize you are the cause, your entire relationship with reality begins to shift. You stop playing the victim. You stop giving your power away to circumstances, to people, to timing. You begin to understand that the universe is not happening to you, it's responding through you. Every conversation, every delay, every miracle, every breakdown, it's all feedback. It's not judging you, it's reflecting you. And that reflection is sacred, even when it's uncomfortable. Especially when it's uncomfortable. So many people ask, why isn't my manifestation working? But that's the wrong question. The real question is, what am I unconsciously projecting into the field? Because manifestation never stops. It's not like a faucet you turn on or off. You're creating constantly with your thoughts, your beliefs, your assumptions, your emotions. The only difference is whether you're doing it on purpose, whether you're creating from alignment or from autopilot. And autopilot is dangerous because it's wired from your past. Let's talk about the past for a moment. Your past is not real. It's memory. It's data. It's energy stored in your nervous system. And if you don't consciously rewrite that data, you will keep using it as the blueprint for your future. The quantum field doesn't care how real your trauma is. It only reads the frequency of it. That means if you're still vibrating at the level of abandonment, lack, or shame, even if it's justified, you'll continue to collapse timelines that match abandonment, lack, and shame. Not because you're broken, but because the field is loyal to your vibration, not your desires. This is why we must go deeper than surface-level positivity. You can't just think happy thoughts and expect your world to change. You have to feel the shift in your cells. You have to drag your consciousness out of the old stories and anchor it in a new truth. And let me be real, it's going to hurt. It's going to feel like death, because it is a death. The death of who you thought you were. The death of the personality that was built around pain. But on the other side of that death is your true identity. The one that was never wounded, never abandoned, never afraid. You don't manifest from your words. You manifest from your being. So the work is not about asking for more, it's about becoming more. More still, more open, more aware, more surrendered. And when you become more, the field reflects more, not because you earned it, but because you matched it. Everything you desire already exists. You're not creating it from scratch. You're tuning into it like a radio frequency. The clearer your signal, the faster the manifestation. But clarity comes with cost. The cost is letting go of your excuses, letting go of your drama, letting go of the identity that gets sympathy but not sovereignty. Are you willing to stop being the victim of your story, even if that story gives you comfort? Are you ready to stop blaming the world and start mastering your vibration? Because mastery is the gateway to miracles, not control, not perfection, mastery. And mastery begins with self-awareness. Every thought is a choice point. Every emotion is an invitation. Every trigger is a teacher. When something in your life triggers you, don't just react. Observe. Ask yourself, what part of me is being activated right now? What belief is this mirroring? What frequency am I sitting in that allowed this into my experience? This level of radical responsibility is not easy, but it is the price of power. And once you pay it, you'll never go back to sleep. Let's talk about time. Time is not linear. That's an illusion of the mind. In the quantum realm, all possibilities exist simultaneously. That means your future self, the one who has already healed, already manifested, already evolved, is not far away. They are here, vibrating on a different frequency. Your job is not to get to them. Your job is to tune into them, to act, speak, feel, and think from that version of you. And when you do that consistently, your current timeline begins to dissolve. But you must be consistent. The field responds to momentum. If you shift your vibration for 5 minutes a day, but spend the rest of your time reinforcing lack, guess what gets amplified? Lack. If you declare abundance but secretly fear scarcity, guess what gets mirrored? Fear. You can't fake the field. You either are the frequency or you're not. And the only way to become the frequency is to live it before it shows up. This is where embodiment comes in. Embodiment means walking as if it's already done. Not because you're delusional, but because you trust the mechanics of the universe. You trust that vibration precedes manifestation. You trust that your inner world is the cause and your outer world is the effect. So you stop waiting for proof. You become the proof. You stop needing guarantees. You are the guarantee. That's when the field starts moving mountains for you. But let me be honest, this is not a one-time thing. This is a lifestyle. Quantum manifestation is not a trick. It's a way of being. It requires discipline, devotion, integrity. You have to be ruthless with your energy. You have to protect your frequency like it's sacred, because it is. You are not just a human, you are a field of potential, a walking vortex of creation. And when you finally realize that, nothing can stop you. Now, let's get practical. Start each day by asking, what frequency do I choose to live in today? Not what you want to achieve, what you want to be. Abundance, peace, confidence, joy? Then act from that. Speak from that. Move from that. And when things challenge you, which they will, don't collapse. Expand. Remind yourself, this is feedback. This is data. This is the old timeline trying to pull me back. And then choose again. This is your power. Not in controlling the outcome, but in mastering your state. Your state is your magnet. Your state is your interface with the quantum field. The higher your state, the more possibilities become available. And the more consistent your state, the more stable your manifestations become. This is not a secret. It's a science, a spiritual science. And once you understand it, you'll never beg the universe for anything again. So pause, breathe, feel into your body. What does your current vibration feel like? Not what you want it to be what it is. Can you feel the tension, the doubt, the fear? Can you locate where it lives in your body? Now ask yourself, what would it feel like to let that go? What would it feel like to trust that everything is already working in your favor? That the future you desire is not something you chase, but something you remember into being? Because here's the deepest truth of all. You're not manifesting anything new. You're remembering who you already are. You're remembering that you are the field. You are the observer and the observed, the dreamer and the dream. And when you remember that, you stop asking, will this work? And you start declaring, it's already done. That shift right there is the quantum leap. The quantum leap is not a distance. It's not a jump across space. It's a shift in perception, a collapse of doubt, a decision to finally live as if what you've been waiting for is already true. That version of you you've glimpsed in your wildest dreams, the one who no longer seeks, but knows they've always been available. Not someday, not after you fix yourself, right now. But here's the paradox that shocks most people. You don't become that version through force. You become them through surrender, through alignment, through the decision to stop identifying with the version of you that no longer resonates with the future you're calling in. When you operate from the field of quantum truth, time becomes your collaborator, not your enemy. You stop counting days. You stop checking to see if it's working. Because you understand that manifestation is not about outcomes, it's about identity calibration. You are calibrating to a frequency that already exists in the infinite field of potential. When your internal state matches that frequency, the outer world must rearrange. It's not a maybe. It's not a wish. It's a law. The question is, how long will you hold the frequency before reverting to the old one? This is the hardest part. Holding the frequency when nothing has changed. Holding the belief when the evidence is still catching up. Holding the identity when your environment still mirrors the past. But this is where the real ones rise. This is where quantum creators are made, because they understand that the field lags behind vibration. That reality is a delayed mirror, and if you change the image in the mirror before your face has shifted, you're not being powerful, you're being impatient. Impatience is fear in disguise. It says, I don't trust this process. It says, I'm still waiting for proof before I decide who I am. But manifestation doesn't work like that. You don't get to see it before you believe it. You believe it, and then you see it. You walk in the dark with faith, and the path lights up as you walk. Not before. Never before. Because the universe responds to movement, not hesitation. To certainty, not desperation. To embodiment, not performance. Have you ever considered that the very reason your manifestation hasn't arrived yet is because you haven't let go of the version of you that doesn't believe it's possible? That version of you is still holding the wheel, still calling the shots, still vibrating in the old frequency. and the field cannot violate your vibration. It is lawfully bound to reflect your energetic signature. So if you want the new reality, you must become the new you. Not later. Now, before it makes sense, before it's safe. This is the simple truth that changes everything. Your external world has no choice but to match your internal world. That's not philosophy. That's physics. It means the only thing standing between you and the life you say you want is you. Not luck. Not timing. Not the universe. You. Your thoughts. Your emotions. Your beliefs. Your frequency. And the moment you take full ownership of that, everything changes. Ownership is the highest frequency of power. When you stop outsourcing your results to circumstances or signs or other people, you reclaim your throne. You stop waiting. You start creating. You stop asking, when will it come? And you start declaring, it's already mine. The energy behind the words shifts. You're no longer begging. You're no longer hoping. You're knowing. And knowing is magnetic. But knowing requires practice. You must train your nervous system to hold the energy of certainty. You must become so intimate with the feelings of abundance, love, peace, power that your body forgets what it feels like to live in fear. This is not mental work. This is embodied work. You must walk like it's done, breathe like it's done, speak like it's done. And when doubt creeps in, you meet it not with panic, but with presence. Presence is your superpower. It brings you back to the now. And the now is the only entry point to the quantum field. There is no creation in the past. There is no creation in the future. Only now. And when you master the now, you master the field. Because the now is where all power lives. It's where all versions of you exist. It's where you choose which timeline to inhabit, not with force, with focus, with frequency. So what does this mean practically? It means you stop performing for the universe and start communing with it. You stop scripting your desires and start living them. You stop chasing signs and start becoming the signal. You walk into every room as if the unseen is more real than the seen. You treat your current reality not as evidence, but as a past echo. Because it is. What you see now is not truth. It's a reflection of who you used to be. And that's what makes quantum manifestation so liberating. You're never stuck. You're never cursed. You're never trapped. You're just tuned to a frequency you've outgrown. And the moment you shift your signal, you shift your life. Not gradually, instantly, energetically. And then reality follows. It has to. It's law. But don't take my word for it. Test it. Experiment with it. Choose a new identity not tomorrow, but today. Choose a new frequency not for 5 minutes, but for a full day. Watch how people respond to you. Watch how opportunities start appearing. Watch how your body feels. And when the old vibration tries to pull you back, smile. Because that's how you know the shift is working. The old pattern is dying. The old timeline is collapsing. You are the cause. Always, you are the one. Not because you're special, but because you're aware. You know the truth now. You know that creation happens inside first. That the field is waiting for you to decide. That the universe is not testing you. It's listening to you, and it will give you exactly what you are willing to embody. So I ask you, what are you willing to embody? What are you willing to believe without seeing? Who are you willing to become without needing permission? Because that choice is everything. That choice is the shift. That choice is the portal to the timeline you've been dreaming of. You don't have to beg for it. You don't have to earn it. You just have to become it. And when you do, the universe doesn't hesitate. It responds immediately, because the field is alive. It's intelligent, and it's waiting for your signal. So send it, not with your words, with your being, with your breath, with your choices, with your frequency.